All right, guys, we've got in the car. We figured it out. This is the first time sitting in a 22B ever. I don't know, but have you sat in a 22B before?
I have in Japan, yeah, in the STi gallery in Japan.
Wow, so completely surreal. I just can't believe that, the amount of times I've seen this on videos, on magazines, and I've literally been writing down in a diary of mine, a planner that I want to get a 22B, and then I guess you write it down and eventually it happens. So it's a really special time, and I can't wait to showcase this car for months and months and years and decades to come with the WRX Cult members. So now, interesting car. Just put the clutch in and it does make that noise. Ready?
Makes a bit of
noise. See if you guys
noise.
can hear this. Put the clutch in and the noise. This is sloppy too, isn't it?
Yeah, the typical shifter linkage in there, yep.
Well, that's an easy fix though.
Yeah, sure is.
Okay, let's see. There we go. A very different feeling to the other cars.
Yes.
Straight away. I mean, just the noises even.
Yeah.
Punch it, I reckon? Give it a punch?
Yeah, why
not? Not ridiculously fast.
No, no.
I think it's because we're just so used to, the other STIs that I've got, particularly the VA.
The VA,
I mean, the
yeah.
VA is so much quicker.
Yeah.
But
it's a whole different experience, isn't it, though?
yeah, I'm going to find the mirrors.
Just in here.
Now, if I put the mirror just at the right angle, of course, I can see the fat wheel arch on the back. You want to take it down the street this way? Just take it out for a little bit of a longer drive, not just around the block. God, it's so funny, you dream of this day,
Yeah.
and now it's here. Freaking awesome.
I think this is the perfect road for it. Look at it.
Now, when you're driving the car down here, I know that you were driving the car down and you put it. We should tell the story. So, Kyle and the Flat 4 team have been absolutely incredible sourcing this car. And in fact, it was on my radar to get one for sure, and I almost bought one at the beginning of the year. One came up on the auctions in Australia, ended up selling for about 330 Australian dollars plus fees. So for the Americans that are watching, I know there's a lot. 350 is probably about 250. 250 American dollars, and it just wasn't the right time for me at that moment. And I was buying the Type RA and had some other things as well. Anyway, it was probably what, Cobb, 5-6 weeks ago now?
Yeah. Probably about 6 weeks ago now.
So Kyle's contacted me and said, "Hey, look, Matt, there's a 22B coming up at the auctions. Do you want to check it out?" And I really had it.
Well, you were almost asleep when it was late at night.
Yeah, actually it was too.
It was, yeah.
And at that time, I'd only just taken delivery of the Chase Yellow Type R 2-door. So I was still kind of feeling the love for that, wasn't thinking about any other cars. And then Kyle rang me and said, "Hey, look, this has come up. We think it could go cheap." And the reason why is because of some of the underside, we think surface rust.
Surface rust, a bit ugly, yeah. Needs a bit of love.
Needs some love. And knowing that the one in Australia had already sold same kilometres for 330 Australian dollars, I was willing to put an offer in of a bid of up to 190.
Yeah, I think it was about 185, 190.
And then the car ended up selling for 168, Kyle, is that right? 168,000 at the auction. Okay, so that's not including fees and freight and things like that. So You tell me, guys, in the comments. You know, is that the cheapest WRX, the 22B? Is that the cheapest 22B that you've ever seen
In the modern era.
in the modern era? Yeah, probably maybe even this year of 2022.
22, yeah. Because you hear stories of people saying they had the opportunity to buy one for $60,000. You know, not that long ago. You know, I'm talking maybe 10 years ago. One popped up somewhere on a classified somewhere. So
yeah. So that's it. We pulled the trigger. I ended up winning obviously the auction at that price, and then I was like, shit, one's coming.
Yeah.
And let's just go down this street here. That's freaking cool, lads. So, fast forward to today, or this week, we knew the car had arrived in Brisbane, Australia, on the boat. Now we did a what they call a row, is that right?
Yep, roll on, roll off.
So roll on, roll off, as opposed to putting it in a shipping container. The cost to freight it out here is, Kyle, how much? About six?
About, something like that.
6,000 Australian dollars.
Yep.
And then by the time it gets here, you've got to pay a whole bunch of other fees. So I think all up, the car on the road will end up costing me about $225.
Yeah, $225 I think is what we worked it out to be.
About $225.
Yep.
So so the guys, it's a peak time right now because of we're just coming up to Christmas. It's like 2 days before Christmas, and with the freight deliveries and the truck drivers, we were going to drive up and get it at first, and then we decided not to, and then we decided we'd get it just delivered on the back of the truck, and then the truck driver couldn't do it, so the flat 4 team literally got up at 5 o'clock in the morning, and this is what makes them so special. Drove up, got a trailer, drove up to the port, put this on the back of the on the trailer, and drove it down to me, which is about 2 hours drive away from the port.
Yep.
So big shout out to Flat 4 team for doing that for me. But I'm sure you loved it though, right?
Oh, I loved every minute of it.
WRX really. The seats are the same, the steering wheel's the same really. The dash kind of has the same look. It's not really until you look in the rear vision on the side mirror that you see the fat arches, and to a degree I guess the wing is slightly different, that you realise you're actually in the 22B.
Yeah, I suppose internally it probably looks quite similar to the version 3 with the steering wheel and the seats.
Yeah.
The dash being the later version 4 and onwards one. So.
Yeah, that's right. Now I think it's got some other parts that the original owner has added to this. How many owners did this have? Do we know?
I believe 2. I need to check the sheets, but yeah, I think from memory this one had 2 owners.
Okay, and I also just checked before, because Kyle showed me on the video, that it does have an aircon set that works, but it also has the original manual book, so with 22B written on, which is cool.
Yeah.
They're probably worth $10,000 alone.
Something like that.
Yeah, we've got a roundabout up here. We'll do a U-turn up there and we'll go back. I wonder if anyone even knows what we're driving. You know, we're basically in the countryside in Australia. I think what gives it away from most people though is the blue gold wheels, and at least they know. Oh, that's a
It's a dead giveaway.
Yeah. Oh yeah, he was looking. What the hell's that? Oh, I know Sean, who's in the corner shop there. He'd freaking love it.
this in the RA especially, because that thing's ready to go.
Yeah.
But I reckon just that initial torque of it from having the 2.2 litre, so that extra bit of capacity definitely helps.
Yeah. So just talking about some of the extra features in this car, these
Lamco gauges, yep. So they were optional. Yeah, the Apexi rev meter obviously wasn't. So, but that's quite a popular mod for the early 2000s JDM cars.
Is that working? Do we know? I can't even read.
Which one? The Apexi?
Apexi.
Yeah. I saw it light up before when we moved it.
Now, for those of you in Australia who are interested in how much does it cost to insure a car like this, I will tell you, because I rang up Shannon's Insurance, great guys there. I've got all my cars insured with Shannon's. Now, I have it insured for 250,000 Australian dollars, and it costs for full comprehensive insurance 2,800 roughly, or maybe 2,900, something like that. Just under 3,000 Australian dollars to insure for a year. That is, of course, on limited use driving. This is not a car that's going to be driven every day anyway. I'm going to store this car. I think I will probably have to do a video at some point about what the plans are with this car.
Yep.
I feel, it's slightly emotional, because it's like you're the custodian of this car that is considered, and is, an absolute icon of motoring history.
Yep, for sure.
So I don't want to completely stuff it. I want to obviously bring it back to the way it looks original. We may discuss talking about putting an exhaust on, because perhaps the exhaust, when I saw the pictures originally, was quite rusted.
It's a bit rough, yeah. Definitely needs some TLC.
We might put a HKS or something on there, but we'll certainly keep the original parts in any case, and maybe I'll have them,
we have them restored or blasted, yeah.
Restored, yeah. You can certainly feel the torque lower down in this car, and even in the high gear, I'm in fourth gear now. It just picks up.
Yep.
And I'm going up the hill as well. Might even be a good idea for the WRX Cult members to let me know what you think about the car. Do you like the 22Bs? Have you always wanted one? It's certainly been a favourite of mine for decades now. It's really probably taken me 25 years to get one, and I can't even believe I've got one. It's ridiculous. Tell me what you think should be done to the car. I'm going to be giving you a play-by-play as well of everything that's done to this car, from cleaning it to parts replacement. And Kyle, I think we're going to have to get onto getting some new parts. And I think you were telling me recently too that a lot of the parts for this car you can easily get.
Yeah, surprisingly, there's a fair few parts you can still get. Obviously, all the flashy go fast bits have sort of been discontinued or sold out, but through certain networks, yeah, we can definitely still get our hands on a lot of parts for this car. So it makes it definitely easier for the restore job.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of the underside parts too, right? Things like though wheels, the body kit, the arches. I mean, you can get them. I don't know about the wheels, but certainly the arches you can get. The copies.
Yep.
I don't know if you can get them like from Subaru, right? But all those little parts, because a lot of the parts that were particularly in the underside of the car, the mechanical parts, are interchangeable with the Type R of the day.
Yep. So
the GCA
they
Type
were
R.
based off the Type R, so fortunately enough, a lot of those parts still cross over.
Yeah, which is really handy if you've got a 22B and you need to replace the parts, you can use it again. Which makes having one of these cars even more enjoyable, because you can easily bring it back to the top condition without having to spend another $1 million on sourcing parts. You would have seen recently, I know over the years now, FaceTime with me this morning as he was at the dock picking up the car, and the car's in the back of the trailer. We're walking around it, and this semi-trailer literally pulled over. The truck driver jumps out, and he's like, "Oh my god!"
Straight away, it took what, I don't know, a minute for us to be with the vehicle out in public eye, and straight away a truck driver pulls over, asked me if it's okay to take some photos, and he knew exactly what he thought it was a GC8 at first, and then he said, "Oh, I saw the wide body kit in the rear end and thought, you know, it's a nice modified one." And then he said to me he saw the front bumper and the interior, and he knew straight away exactly what it was. So yeah, it didn't take long at all, really, and that was while I was on the phone to you as well.
Yeah, just incredible. I think, I mean, I certainly want to take this out to some car shows and some meetups so everyone can, you know, check out the 22B, because I don't think I've actually seen one in real life myself.
No.
So
Yeah.
Coming across one is a big deal, and
chances of seeing one at a meet or a Subaru event is just next to none here. Especially in Queensland, maybe a bit more down in Sydney or Melbourne. I think there's a few more down there, but in terms of Queensland.
Actually, the guy who I bought the Chase Yellow Type R from, he was based down in Sydney, and he had a 22B in his collection as well. So, Zoran, if you're watching, I've got one now too. Alright, we're just going to pull into the house, take up the driveway. I've got a really steep driveway.
Yep.
Hey, you can don't talk